I don't know why. That's the next thing you want to come in there? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that restaurant where you were yesterday.
Don't knock that guy down. I think the guy's trying, but he just...
invaded this country. Now they wanted to make sure that those scrolls will be kept in a safe place. So they put them in jars and in their caves. No one knew about those scrolls to have been in those caves till a shepherd boy discovered them in the year 1947. He threw a rock into the cave and he hit the jar. His goat ran into the cave. What really happened is his goat ran into the cave, so he hit the jar, and then he went into, when he heard that noise, he went in, and that's when he found that jar. He opened the jar and he pulled out what was in the jar, and it was written on parchment. You know that the Jewish people, when they write their Bible, they write it on parchment. You know what's parchment? It is leather. It's skin, animal skin, like goat or sheep. And that's what you write the Bible. It has to be written on this kind of special leather. And that's what preserved it, really. So he found it, he brought it to his sheik, and he sold it to a shoemaker in Bethlehem. And that shoemaker is the one who contacted a Jewish professor whose name is Professor Sukani, and he sold it to him. And that's how and he was the first one to realize that those are the original, must be something very special. He didn't know exactly what it is when he first got them, but he realized that they are very important and very valuable. Now the Arab guy got smart and decided not to sell them anymore because he saw how the Jewish people got excited about it. So they were taken out of Israel, they were smuggled out. This was 47, you have to remember it was time of war, and they brought them to the United States. Now no one knew what happened to the scrolls. The Assyrian Archbishop had actually control of it, and then they were put on sale in 1956. And that's how this government of Israel was able to buy them. Of course, before we bought them, we made sure to make everybody to think that they are fake. So the price will be very low. So that's how we got them for $500,000. And that's how we keep them now in the Israel Museum. And that's what we're going to see on, I think the day after tomorrow, or Thursday. That's when we're going to see the original scrolls in the museum in Jerusalem. And this is, if you ask me what's the most valuable things that you have today in Israel, the answer is the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Would you sell them for $1 million?
Sell them for $1 million? You know, the income from the museum alone is $5 million a year. People come to see those scrolls. They charge $10 to see those scrolls. Yes, it is like Disneyland for you.
Where's the shepherd that found them?
The shepherd that found them is, I just read an article not too long ago. He didn't get anything, as things happened, and he didn't, of course, he didn't know what he found. You understand? He didn't know what he found.
But he will go in heaven for sure.
He will go into heaven, that's right.
So what better you want?
How about the sheep that went into the cave?
The goat.
Gold or whatever.
So this is one of those wonderful stories. And of course we're very glad that they were found, because I want you to understand the significance of the scrolls. This is a Bible that was written more than 2,000 years ago, and it's identical. It's the same Bible as ours today. That shows you how true the Bible is. That there is not, somebody could come and said before the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, hey, maybe some Jewish guy 1,000 years ago decided to write that Bible, and you stupid people all believe it then. He said, okay, you could say, well, we had never the way to tell him that this is not the way it happened, because the oldest Jewish manuscript that was known up till the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls was like 1,100 years old. Now we have a copy of the Bible that is 2,100 years old. In other words, 100 years before the time of Jesus, this is already the Bible. So when you say Jesus read out of Isaiah, you know he read the same book that you're reading from today. There's no question about it. So this is a great, maybe the greatest discovery. This is, to us, this is more than oil and more than anything. More than gold or oil. Even though we wouldn't mind to find some oil and gold.
Reverse psychology.
Huh?
Reverse psychology.
What is this on right side?
This is a new kibbutz. A new one. Yes, sir. What's your question, sir?
No, we just want to know.
We have another guide on the back. For our training section.
Ah,
Electricity or something. You explain it. He's not translating anything that you say.
He makes his own story, I mean.
The conversation has nothing.
If you don't behave, I take you back to the restaurant where you were yesterday.
I spread the cards last night to them, so they know how to go there.
I'm going to sleep from the sky. Look at the water.
Water.
This is water, but you don't want to know what kind of water it is.
Dead water.
That's the water from the restaurant we were yesterday. This is the sewage water of Jerusalem.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Can we drop it on
Yes, it's dead anyhow, so who cares? It makes it more tasty, you know, more chemicals. It's richer this way. You change your mind about food. No, you must touch it. You know, this body of water is the saltiest body of water in the world. It got 8 times more salt than the ocean. 8 times more salt. And further down from here, even the mountains get to be salt mountains. It is not only the sea that is salty, the mountains are salt. That God destroyed.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot's wife is there too. You remember the story about her?
Yeah.
She became a pillar of salt.
Oh, salt.
Yes, pillar of salt.
She could not resist turning back.
Right. Women must see what's back there.
Yeah, she was salted to death.
She couldn't resist.
I think on the bars down that they sell cubic support.
Everything is written in the Bible, you see? All the truth. Eve was tempted by a snake. Lot's wife has turned back.
They built houses.
You get a long stick, don't
Kurso kan jag spela con cui brava? Kurso kan jag spela con cui brava?
Look at the palm trees again, the dates.
Wilderness. لا אני פשוט גם אתה לא לבד שם.
לא, אבל בשעה כזאת כבר כל ה... Look what happens here when there is erosion and rain. Look at those rocks. There's sometimes flash floods here too, like in Nevada. Yes, when it rains here, it doesn't rain much, but when it rains, it's very dangerous.
You don't want to be in the trouble.
Then you can really get in trouble. The roads, you see those rocks are coming down.
There must be snakes.
Yeah?
Are those roads built by Israelis after?
This road is a new road that Israel built after the war. Yes. No road here before.
My God, you did a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
In a short
They
period
build
of time.
new settlements here. And they don't sleep.
She never mentioned.
Tiberius, I heard.
See, the size of Israel is the size of Albania. How much more do they do that?
We need to get some sliders from Israel. Just to show us what we do over there.
Rich guy point in the sense of patriotism. I didn't.
Menar Chakra ne nema se ovom heru. Dominicana che c'ha come un seguito.
Dove?
No, very sweet. You know, because we pump out the water of the Sea of Galilee, and we won't let this good water into the Dead Sea.
How about the Sea of Galilee? Is that
Is there.
down or is...
Well, that's why we're going to It's relatively quiet only from the last 20 years. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's right,
We'll have, I believe, in the future. A lot of people just go to the place I told you if you want to eat real good tomorrow.
Oh.
If you feel like it.
I would love to. The only thing is that I cannot
Actually, leave the
divide myself from the
You're right.
child.
We said 1 hour with the guy.
Oh, you did that?
1 hour we negotiated with him.
You did a good job. I told Father Rog and Father Peter about it.
Yes, all those kids.
Seaman,
Wine is $40, the bus, and the meal, the steak, meal Saul. Because Saul went into the cave, and the man of David said to him, "This is the day the Lord delivered thy enemy into thy hands." But David said, "I will never." He loved King Saul, you know, so he just cut off a piece of his skirt to show him that he would never kill the king of Israel. Don't forget that the king of Israel has been anointed by the Lord, by Samuel, by the prophet. So this is, later on, you know that the story is when King Saul died in the war against
Yeah. Keep out the side.
for attention. Okay. Great job.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. If you all look now straight ahead, right in front of you, can I have your attention, please? Okay. The mountain that you're looking at now, from a distance, on your right-hand side, looks like a ship from a distance. Looks like a boat, right? That's what Josephus, the historian, described it when he described Masada. The word, the name, Metzada, in Hebrew, means a fort. And it's a natural fort. Why is it a natural fort? Because it is the only mountain here in this whole area which is an island. It's a mountain by itself. So it is a fort naturally. The one who actually realized its strategic significance was King Herod. That same Herod that killed the babies in Bethlehem when Jesus was born. That paranoid Herod. Yes, he's the one who killed his wife later on and his children, yes. So what he did, he was always feeling like sooner or later the Jewish people will revolt against him. See, he was like Ceausescu in Romania. So he felt like this will happen sooner or later. So he's sort of building himself several castles around this country in which he could escape to. Yesterday on the road to Bethlehem, I showed you that mountain was a flat top. You remember? So this was one fortress, but he had built himself, and I showed you Jericho, Kypros, on the old Jericho road yesterday. So he built himself several castles like this. But the most, and that is Masada. Herod saw that gifted son. Why? Because he died in Jericho in the year 4 BC, after being 33 years a king. From 66 till 73 AD. In the meantime, there was heavy fighting between Jews and Romans all over the country. The Romans were fighting the Jews, and it comes to an end when the Romans had destroyed the temple in Jerusalem. That happened in the year 70 AD, after 4. So the Jews up here were really not involved in all the fighting that was going on between Romans and Jews. So Masada was now the only place left that was still controlled by the Jews. The Romans couldn't accept the idea that there is still a place that they do not control. So two years after the end of the revolt, 2.5 years, the Romans sent a big army down here to Masada. Thousands of Roman soldiers, together with thousands of Jewish slaves, were brought down to this place. Of course, the Romans thought that when the Jews see that big army coming, they will know they have no chance. Don't forget, we're talking about the Romans to be the strongest army in the world at that time. It was like America. I mean, they had controlled the whole world. But those Jews, of course, they came here for one reason. Don't forget what was the purpose of coming to Masada. To be able to worship God and be free. That was the only reason. To the synagogue and said to them,